Hello, and what do you do when you get a bad review? Well, I think I have an answer for that. That's my cold open. Anyway, my name is Cody Engdahl. I'm the Cody C. Engdahl, as I go by on the back of my books. I'm the author of 5 novels and 2 nonfiction books. By the way, real quick, my book, which we're going to talk about a little bit, Rampage on the River, the Battle for Island Number 10. That is going to be 99 cents starting Thursday for a week in the US. And then the following week, it'll be 99 pence in the UK. So if you're interested in jumping on board and reading that, and it's by the way, it's the ebook is 99 cents. Um, uh, don't buy it yet. Wait till Thursday, and then it'll be on sale in the US, and then a week later, it'll be on sale in the UK. And if you don't want to miss any of, if you're like, damn it, I just bought it full price. Well, some people have done this, and I'm not recommending you do it because it'll make me lose money, but I don't care. But I've seen some people actually they buy it at full price, which is only $3 at full price. So it's not like it's $2, right? But they buy it at full price, and then it goes on sale the next day, so they return it and then they buy it again. They return it, get their $3 back, and then buy it for $1. That's fine. Anyway, so let's get into this. So this is not anything. This is not a new review. If you've been following me online, I got this back. I think a few weeks ago, and I was going to talk about it, and I ended up. Here we go. I ended up I had other things that came up that I thought were more interesting. Not that this is not interesting, but were more timely. That's the word I want to use. More timely for this show because, like for example, I think last week I did a. Hmm, where am I in my time? I think I had just gotten done recording an episode with Rock Paper Sword, so I was very excited about that and wanted to do a little bit of a victory lap. By the way, that's going to come out Friday, I believe. So we will. I will definitely have that up on my. Oh, let me finish something. Dang it! See, this is what I do, and I always listen to these after I get done, not just because of narcissism, even though that's a big factor in it, but I also realize that a lot of times I start a thought and then I get sidetracked and then I don't finish that thought, and it's very frustrating. It's something I'm working on. So, what I want to tell you is this. Um, I occasionally have specials on the ebooks. And if you're like, dang it, I just bought it full price, instead of returning it and going through all that trouble, if you join my email list, and I won't spam you, I'm just going to let you know when things are on special, when I have a new book out, and maybe, and if I'm going to make a public appearance, and I mean, it'll just be very specific to what's going on with me. I'm not going to bore you to death with like, like, hey, it's summertime. I like to go swimming. What do you like to do? None of that stuff. It's going to be just information about what's going on with me as a writer, where I'm going to be making appearances, what's on special, and things like that. So I'll give you I'll give you a little hint here, and this is your reward for watching my videos. If you like my books, all the digital versions are usually get to be $1 at some point, except for the most current one. That one I think won't be $1 until it's been out for at least a year, so it's at $4.99. But all the other ones will rotate through the $1 or 99 pence promotions. So, and if you get on my email list, I will let you know when that happens. Okay, so there, I finished that thought. Um, what else is going on? Okay, so yeah, that's right. So I was on that podcast, or at least I recorded. That's coming out Friday. I'll let everybody know. I'll probably put out an email letting my email subscribers to know that as well. And so I put this one off because I think what I did is I had a Matthew Harvey. I reviewed his book, which is called Dark Frontier, and that was 2 weeks ago. And then the last episode was about being on their podcast, and so now we're doing this one. So this is a couple weeks late, and it's also I'm a few days late. I usually try to do Sunday night, but Monday was Laura, my girlfriend's birthday, so we spent Sunday night together, and then we spent all day Monday and Monday night together. So I'm picking up the slack here and trying to get caught up here. Okay, so anyway, one of the things I do on a daily basis to waste time when I should be writing is I look at Author Central and I see if I have any new. It's one place where I can see if I have any new reviews on any of my books. And just so you know, like reviews are very important to writers, like because people make decisions. Not only do readers make decisions based on how well the book is reviewed, how many stars it has, but also the algorithm. So the higher the rating of the book, the more likely it's going to be shown to other readers. So that's why you always see me and other authors say, please 5-star reviews anytime you can. And if you give it a written review, now I'll take the 5-star rating and just that alone, if that's all you're willing to give me. But what's even better is if you can give me or your favorite author those 5 stars, and then even if it's just a couple lines, like I really liked it. That's it. That's all you have to do. I write longer ones because I feel like it's part of my business not only to give reviews to other authors. I only give 5-star reviews. If it's a terrible book, I just don't review it at all. And the reason being is that I either like it or I don't. And you get unfair reviews. And I'm going to point out why this 2-star review, who, by the way, is absolutely correct, I think was a little unfair. And as much as I would like 5 stars and think that I do, that this book deserves 5 stars, I would say based off of this reviewer's criteria that they should have given that by their standard, I should have gotten 3 stars and not 2. And I'll explain that to you. But in a lot of ways, like, in the world of the internet now, where like there's been a big democratization. My mouth is swollen up because this excuse I'm going with I have allergies and my tongue swells up, and so does my throat. It makes it hard to talk sometimes, and my tongue gets really sore on the edges because it scrapes against my teeth because it's swollen because whatever pollen is in the pollen. We got pollen and cicadas and all sorts of terrible things. So, it used to be back in the day. Well, first of all, we live in an age of a golden age of independent creators. More now than ever, someone can write a book and publish it. You can have a YouTube channel that you run out of your kitchen like this one and have millions of subscribers. The technology has made it that an average person could shoot an entire feature-length film on their phone. It's endless. The opportunity is endless. You just have to be good, and you have to do the work on marketing yourself. But at the same time, it's a golden age of the independent creator, and it's also a golden age of the independent critic. So anybody, whether it's a restaurant or a book or a movie, anybody can also review something as well, where it used to only be reviews were only in the newspapers, and you sucked up to the reviewers and try to get the best reviews because people would read reviews. I don't know how strong they are and how powerful they are, but people would read reviews and decide whether to go see a film or a play or a musical or read a book or whatever. But now anybody can review a book, especially if you actually bought it from the platform you're reviewing on, like Amazon. But what that means is, not everybody's a professional literary reviewer, and not everybody's very fair. And sometimes people give you bad. Now, I'm not saying this is happening with me, but sometimes people will give you a bad review for reasons outside of the content and the quality of the book. I certainly have had that happen to me on one of my books, which is kind of controversial. And because some people don't like the viewpoint it takes, they give me 1-star reviews because they don't like it, and they don't want to hear my side of the argument. But that's neither here or there. I'm talking about this book, and I will say that I'm gonna read this review, and I'm gonna tell you that the things that this person's complaining about, he's correct, or I don't know, they are correct, because they're not identified, and I'm glad, because I if I did know the identity of the person, I would protect that identity. I would not, even if it's a bad review, I'm not going to let the rest of the world know. I mean, if they review my book and their name is publicly on the page, that's on them, but I'm not going to spread that around, because I don't want anybody saying, hey, someone I don't know maybe is saying, I like Cody, and I'm not happy that this person did this, and try to do something stupid to I don't want any harm come to anybody, even if they're one of my detractors. Okay, so this is my book, Rampage on the River. Now we're on the UK site, because sometimes the reviews will be on both. Like for example, reviews that were written in the US will show up on the UK site, and vice versa, but not all of them. And thankfully, this review isn't showing up on my US site, which is for the most part, is a bigger market, and I've sold more books in the US. But I do a healthy business in the UK. This month, for example, I think about 2/3 of all my royalties for the month of May are coming from the UK. So the UK is very important to me as far as sales. So right now, just to show where you are. So in the UK, I don't know how they mix these, but in the UK, I have 88 people have rated this book, and it's sitting right at 4.0, which is good. You want to be above 4. I'm right. I just made the cusp, because Amazon will do things like they'll show you 4-star book, 4 stars and higher books. So if this book dips to 3.9, which it has, it'll stop being shown, at least in that bracket of 4 stars or better. So here's the book. Oh, in the US, it's 90 ratings. So I don't know if this is 88 ratings in the UK and it's 90 ratings in the US, or if some of them are mixed or matched, because it'll show some of the reviews. So if you scroll down here, you can see here's the whole. Here's the 3 of the books. There's 5 books in the series. Yeah. Next 3 in the series, and then here's all 5 books here. And you can see the ratings get a little higher, 4.3 out of 5 with 40 reviews for the next one, 4.1 for Nashville, 4.6, but out of only 14 ratings. So you have to take that into account, how many people are rating it and where it is. And then I'm sure there's a math equations here. So let's look at it. Now you can see this is United Kingdom. And for the most part, I get good reviews. I'll tell you, this is what really drives me crazy, though. Okay. I mean, look at this. 4 stars from this woman here. A good read. I'm sorry, 5 stars. 5 stars. 4 stars here. Great read. So I got 5 stars for a good read, but 4 stars for a great read. Okay. This man here, I'm going to cover up his name. Says this. I like this. So it's a 3-star review. So 3 stars, it's more than halfway there. 3 stars is a C as far as I'm concerned. Only the battle scenes are good. I will say this. Almost every one of my bad reviews points out that my battle scenes are good, or will point out historical accuracy. So I'm very happy about this. But let me tell you something I'm not happy about. I'm not going to, cry and moan about bad reviews, even though I'm crying and moaning right now. But this, that's not what I show. Here we go. This does drive me crazy a little bit. Okay. This I have a problem with. I have some people have rated it 1 star, so that's the worst you can do. You can't do 0 stars. You can do 1 star. So that person hated it. 2 stars, that's not very nice either. That's a bad review as well. In some ways, 2 stars hurts more than 1 star because 1 star, like there's got to be. I mean, no, it's not a 1 star book. It's not a 1 star book. So there's something going on here more than they didn't like the book, or something that made them very mad and they wanted to take it out of me. But this is what makes me angry. Okay, why was it 1 star? I would like to know, because I would like to get better as an author, and I'd like to, because I do read the reviews and I do read the negative ones, and I take to heart some of the things that people say. Well, okay, let's click on 1 star and see what we have. Oh, sorry, no reviews match your current selections. So that means 3 people gave me a 1 star review, but didn't bother to tell me why. Well, thank you very much. I think that's cowardly, because if you're giving someone less than 3 stars, then you're saying this book, you're hurting that person's reputation. You're hurting that book's chances of selling. I mean, it's not, I mean, I will survive. I'm still selling the book in the UK. I just sold a copy today. But tell me why it's 1 star. When you're giving someone a 1 star or 2 star rating, and you're hurting them. And so I would like to know why I'm being hurt, or what it is I could do to make your experience better. Same thing. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Now, this person, 5 people have given me a 2-star review, 5 out of 88. This person, I have. This is the person we're going to talk about. This is the one that gave me a 2-star review. And the only thing I would say, my only complaint about this is, well, first of all, a private message might have helped me, and I would have fixed it, because what this person's complaining about is correct. This person is correct, and I was wrong. And I read this. I took it to heart. I took it apart and analyzed what they were saying, and I fixed half of what they were saying, and mostly because I couldn't find the thing that they were complaining about. So this is Kindle. This is from the United Kingdom, 2-star review, Kindle customer. So their name is not to it, and that's fine. I'm not saying people need to put their name out there, and I'm glad, because now I can show this live on the page without identifying this person. Because if this person did put their name on that, I would be protecting the identity right now on my YouTube channel for sure. So just so you know, if you want to give me a bad review on something, I might talk about it, but I will protect your name. Just want you to know that. So this is what they write. Historically accurate, technically inept. Okay, well, that's half good, right? Historically accurate is something that I strive for. So this person writes, I have been reading Civil War history for around 50 years. The author has obviously done the same. His reportage of the battles is quite accurate. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I take great pains. I'm right now studying the Battle of Speicheren, which is in the Franco-Prussian War, because I want to get it right, and it's very important for me to do this. And that's a compliment I get on a lot of my negative reviews, that historically accurate, or the battle scenes are good. Okay, but, and it's a big but, his technical knowledge of the arms used is inept. He has cannon firing solid shot. I'm sorry, it was British, so it's just one quote. Solid shot, which explode. Solid means solid. They do not explode, though they may well bounce. He has soldiers fitting percussion caps on firing pins. Percussion caps fit on nipples. The firing pin is part of the hammer's I'm sorry. The firing pin is part of the weapon's hammer, which, when released by the trigger, ignites the percussion cap. He's not alone. The vast majority of similar authors have little, if any, knowledge of the same arms used. At the same time, it's obvious that editors and proofreaders of such military novels are equally inept. Okay, so I feel like this guy has got a lot of frustration in general with the genre, with many of the people, and I feel like I'm just taking the brunt. Um, so the first thing I did, well, I'll tell you one thing I did. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Is I said, okay, let's really analyze what this person is saying, because this is gold. I want this kind of feedback, um, so that I can fix it, right? All right, here we go. Dang it, oh, nothing's easy. There we go. So I'm gonna see if I can share this real quick. All right, we're gonna remove that. I'm gonna stop share, and then we're going to share screen, and I'm gonna do a window, and I'm gonna do notes. Okay, great. So I I copied this and read it, and then I pulled out the things. And this is where I say, according to this person's criteria, I think I think I deserve 5 stars, but based on their criteria, based on their criteria, I think I deserve at least 3, and this is why. I said, okay, what are the problems? 1, he has cannon firing solid shot, which explode, which he's right. Solid shot does not explode. 2, he has soldiers fitting percussion caps on firing pins. Yes, he's absolutely right. And I know that now. I mean, my last book, The Prussian Prince, they have needle guns, and the needles are firing pins that when you pull the trigger, the pin goes into the cartridge. The paper cartridge, it hits the percussion cap and ignites and sends a bullet. I know that. I know that very well. And I may not have known that 5 years ago when I wrote Rampage on the River, but I did know that that thing is also. I thought I didn't like the word. I remember I didn't like the word nipple, so I used firing pin instead, thinking that it was the same thing, and I was wrong at that time. But what happened is I made that decision, wrote it that way, and then years later, when I understood what a firing pin actually is, didn't realize I had made that mistake 5 years ago until this guy pointed it out. I know this. I absolutely know it. So what I did, so first of all, okay, get back to this point first. So those are the problems. Here are the compliments. 1, have been reading Civil War history for, he says, or they say, I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I have been reading Civil War history for around 50 years. The author has obviously done the same. That's a compliment. His reportage on the battles is quite accurate. That's 2 compliments. Oh, wait a minute. I just repeated the same one twice. Oh, okay. Maybe I do get 2 stars. I know what it is. The title of the review. So I'm not cheating. Historically accurate. Okay, so he says. So I guess I'm kind of stretching that there, but I feel like I only got 2 demerits. One was for the exploding solid shot, and the other one was for saying firing pins when I'm supposed to say nipple. Now, first thing I did, and once I did that, I said, okay, well, let's fix this. And the great thing about KDP is that I can go in and I can fix a manuscript even years after I publish it when I find any mistakes like that. So I just have to wait up to 72 hours. Now, any of the printed books, like the ones I have in stock, still have firing pin instead of nipples. And 99% people who read that aren't going to know the difference. But all the new ones that are printed from here on out will have that corrected. So I did what's like a find term where I do like Command F and then a little search bar pops up, and I wrote in firing pin. And then I found every instance in which I used the word firing pin, which I think was only one or two, and changed that to nipple, and problem solved. The one thing I wasn't able to do is I couldn't find anywhere, and I know solid shot, I even knew back then, solid shot doesn't explode. I know that. Shells explode. A solid shot is, complete solid iron or lead, and it's more of kinetic force when you fire it from a cannon, that it's going to hit something with a lot of force because it's really heavy. It's a solid shot. Against personnel, it's going to bound and it's going to roll through a whole formation of, a whole column of men and kill and mangle every man in his way. A shell is just like what it sounds like. It's that ball is or cone shaped shell or a ball is hollow, and the inside is packed with explosives like black powder and maybe more shrapnel or something to go flying when it blows up. Whether it has a percussion tip where it hits and it explodes, or prior to that they had fuses that were timed, so you'd light the fuse on the I think actually firing the cannon lights the fuse, and the fuses can be set to like X amount of seconds, so it explodes after it travels like a few seconds and then blows up. Later on they put percussion cap, they have conical shaped ones with noses that explodes upon impact. That's kind of a new late 19th century development, which wasn't in use during, I believe, during most of the American Civil War. I could be wrong, but most of the shells in the American Civil War were timed fuses, or they were using solid shot, or they were using canister, which is like a can full of musket balls that when fired from the cannon, the canister rips apart and it's like a giant shotgun. And there's also grape shot, which is very similar to canister, but it's just that the balls are bigger. So a bunch of smaller cannonballs come out and spread out upon firing instead of a single solid shot or shell. Couldn't find that mistake anywhere. Scoured through it. So if you read Rampage on the River and you find an instance where I said a solid shot exploded, please let me know personally, and I'll fix it before you go and give me a 2-star review and tear me apart on. Actually, I'll remove that, and then we're gonna stop screen share. Let's get back to this screen share, and here we go. All right, so I feel like based on this criteria, I should have gotten 3 stars because he does say I'm historically accurate, and although technically inept, that's a little harsh. So yeah, it hurts. My feeling. I mean, I'll just tell you this: I get more good reviews than bad reviews. For the most part, it's this guy right here, the top critical review. He says that's 3 stars. That's not bad. He says only the battle scenes are good. Okay, well, I'm happy to hear that. He doesn't like a lot of the language I use in it, but I tell you right now that I take great pains to make sure that any kind of language I use would have been said at that time. But we won't get into that because we're just talking about this one here. So let me present. Stop that share. And so once I fixed it, I said, well, I'll tell you this. Every time I get a positive review, I usually cut that out. I put it in Canva and I spread it all over the place to let everybody know, hey, look what someone said about me in my book. This is what we call social proof. So it's showing the world that like, hey, this other person liked this book, and what it does is psychologically is like, oh, someone bought it and they liked it, maybe I might like it too. So I always share positive reviews on my social media. Well, I thought, you know what, I'm going to share the negative ones too, because um, I think what it does is it has an interesting effect. I think, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's see here. Is it this one? Yeah. Yeah, it's this one here. So I created a I created a social media post, and what I did is I once again, if you see, well, the person's identity is not associated with it, so I didn't have to protect them. So I cut out that I did a screen grab of that person's um, review. I put me not being, with a sad face, and I put, the little baby Yoda and the baby son and the picture of the book as well. And I shared it, and I shared it on all my social media. And I wrote, I mean, and what I mean by that is like, uh, let's see, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I do a shorter version on Twitter because Twitter only allows so many words if you don't have a blue check. And so my post was the unkindle, Kindle, the because he's Kindle customer, so I'm trying to be clever there. Unkindle customer is absolutely correct. Rookie mistakes, for sure, that I made on my first book 5 years ago. I certainly know better now. I fixed the firing pin nipple mistake. For the life of me, I cannot find where I had solid shot exploding. So if you know, please point it out to me so I can fix it. Of course, being an egomaniac, I can't help but to focus on the compliments. Every single critical review I've gotten for any of my books point out the accuracy of my battle depictions. One reviewer wrote, "Only the battle scenes are good," as the title of the review. Okay, I'll take that. This reviewer actually gives me too much credit. I haven't spent 50 years reading Civil War history, but I'm working on it. I hope they give me another chance with The Perils of Perryville. And if you've read any of my books, please give me as many stars as you think I deserve on Amazon and Goodreads, and perhaps a few kind words. After all, we are all made of stars. And then there's um, the universal link that will take you where you can buy that book, whether you're in the UK or the US or Japan or Brazil or whatever. And then I put that out everywhere. And what it does is a couple things. First, it points out that even though I get bad reviews, I still get good things in those bad reviews. And it's true. I don't think I've had a bad written review that didn't point out that my battle scenes are good or the accuracy is good. Some of the things they point out, sometimes they're wrong. I mean, this guy was not wrong, at least not about the nipple fire pin thing. I I'm sure they're also correct about the solid shot thing. I just can't find it, and I've been back and forth to that book multiple times. Um, but I liked using this as an opportunity to say, but the battle scenes are good and accurate, and he points that out there. So I think that's a way of getting a backhanded compliment and showing people. I think it also shows people that I'm not afraid, um, that I'm brave enough to show a bad review for my book. I think the other thing it does is it might help rally support from my followers. So I hope that somebody would see this and say, "Oh, well, that's not fair. Or that's not very nice. I'm going to give him a 5-star review." And I haven't had any written reviews since that, but I've had more ratings, and the rating has stayed up above four stars. So maybe I have inspired others to give me at least the 5 stars, and maybe I will in the future. I shared that everywhere. I even shared that in other groups that I don't control, like the Facebook group called military thriller. Steve Lepper is the moderator there. He's really nice, and he allows me to do that a lot. And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? Let's make a blog. So I made a blog post as well. I'm going to show you that, and I have a whole other audience that follows my blog. So this is making like the most of a bad review, because I was thinking, this is actually a good marketing tool, because maybe the people who do like me, if you've read all my books and you're still following me, then I must be doing something right. So I shared it there as well. Let's see if I can pull that up. Yeah, here we go. So this is my blog, and I shared this out, and this got quite a few likes on it. I shared the same art, the same graphic that I created for my Facebook or my social media, and I guess my blog is also social media in a way. And then I wrote, I just expanded. I took the same text from my post and just expanded it. So I wrote, "Ow, my feelings," and then I start with, "This book will be 99 cents for Kindle later this month. I'll let you know when it is. It'll be 99 pence in the UK after that. So you might want to wait to buy it. The book usually gets good reviews and is sitting at 4 stars on Amazon and Goodreads. But here's a new one that has some legitimate critiques." And then I have the little graphic that shows the person's 2-star review and their complaints. And I wrote, but at least they said the battles were accurate. And then here's the same text that I read for you earlier from my post. And then this is what I really love about WordPress, my blog, is that you can insert a preview to a book just using the link. So after I have wrote this blog and showed you the person's complaint, my response to it, and all that, now you can buy the book right off. Buy on Amazon. You can share it, and there's a preview, a free preview. Sorry, I can't talk because my tongue is exploded. And you can actually preview. Let's see. There's the prologue. Here's chapter 1. And you can read this all for free. Look at how much there is. So, let's see, is that all of chapter 1? Yeah. So you can read the prologue and all of chapter 1. So I shared that out, and then I still was like, there's still more I can do with this. So then I started a new email list, and I took basically the exact same article and just copied and pasted it into an email and sent it to my email subscribers. So was it a mistake to do this? I don't think so. I think it shows the people who care enough about me, because if you don't like me, I think there's very few people who are on my email list, follow me on Twitter, follow me here on YouTube, are friends with me. I think there's very few people that actually don't like me. Why would you follow me on social media if you didn't like me, right? So I think what I do by being brave enough to show this to my audience and saying that this person is correct about this, and I have corrected the mistake, and then also pointing out the compliments that are within this critical review, I think what I've done is built some goodwill amongst my followers, and maybe it has encouraged some to buy the book or leave me 5 stars on other books and leave me reviews. So that's basically how. And by the way, this is all part of it. I was going to do this, but what happened was I had other things to talk about that were more timely, and that is my 5-star review of Matthew Harvey's Dark Frontier, and then the last time I came on and did a live stream, I talked about that I was on their podcast. So let's take this down. So all that being said, well, let's do this. I'm gonna take that down, and then I'm gonna show you this. Share screen. We're gonna go back to this. I think. Yeah. All right. So let's go back to the actual book here. Now this is the UK site, but it's the same thing. Do not buy this book. Oh wait a minute. Buy this book. But if you're gonna buy the excuse me, my allergies are getting bad. My cough is coming back. If you want to read the Kindle version, you can read it for 99 cents in the US starting Thursday. So wait, and if you do, please give me 5 stars. Help me counteract the bad ones. And a couple lines of hey, I liked it, or if you want to give me a 2-star review, or 1-star review, sure. But if you do, at least tell me what I did wrong so I can get better. I think that's a fair request. And you can even not use your real name, so I don't realize that you're actually my mom giving me a 1-star review. Um, so that is going to be starting Thursday, going for a week, and then the following week after that, it'll be 99 pence in the UK. What else is happening? So Friday, I will be on Rock Paper Swords, and that means a lot to me. It's Steve McKay and Matthew Harvey. They're both best-selling authors in the historical fiction genre. We write in the same genre. They write mostly medieval Britain, early medieval Britain. I write 19th century. But they have all sorts of historical novelists on there. And when they started the show 2 years ago, I thought, wouldn't that be great? And I already knew them, and I was already friends with them on social media. And I was like, wouldn't that be something if I could get on that show? I didn't want to ask them because I didn't want to put them in a difficult position if they're like, because they had like Bernard Cornwell. So I knew they had like really big guests on there. So I decided, well, I want to be on that show, but I only want to be on that show if they want me to be on that show. Well, the invitation finally came. And I mean, I don't mean finally. I still was surprised by it. I was like, really, me? And I was like, yes, yes, yes. So that was my last video was about that. That comes out Friday. You damn well better believe I'm going to share that everywhere. I was also on another show that one was kind of a quick turnaround. I was on Books 101, Daniel Lucas. I've been on his show multiple times. He does a lot. He puts out a lot of content, and I think podcast hosts like me because, as you notice, I can sit here and talk for like 43 minutes nonstop without a whole lot of ums and ahs, and especially if they give me questions, I'm able to kind of tee off on them and to provide content. So if you have a podcast that relies on good interviews, I usually, because I understand I worked in television. I interviewed a lot of people. I know what it means to get good sound bites. And so I know what they sound like and what people are looking for. So I feel like I do a good job on people's shows. So Daniel Lucas asked me back quite a bit. Let me see if I can. I'll probably regret doing this because you'll see all the things that I watch on YouTube. But I'm going to see if I can pull up a little bit of there we go, Books 101. God, why is everything gotta be so complicated? It's always hard when I'm trying to do something quick. I want to upload this right now. That'll get me there. God. All right, sorry. This is so easy when like I'm not on the air, but anytime I try to do something quick, there's just maybe I need to go to his channel and then find it from. Here we go. Here we go. I think this will do it. All right, here we go. So and let me make sure that I'm okay. Good. We shot it with video, but he is. Well, here we go. Here it is with the video. So I'll just play a little bit of this for you. There's my last book.
Hi, I'm Daniel Leakes, and welcome to Book 101 Review. And today I have of course, my avid guest, Cody Engdahl.
Thank you, Daniel. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Yes, and thank you so much for your time. And Mr. Cody is my guest many episodes already. So if you missed our episodes, please do go back and listen to it. And Mr. Cody, again, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Cody C. Engdahl, or you can just call me Cody. And you can find me on Amazon. The last name is kind of weird. It's Swedish, so it's spelled in a way you probably wouldn't imagine. It's ENG, D as in David. So if you're interested in that, that's books. Books 101 with Daniel Lucas. It's on like iTunes. The podcast is on iTunes, and so is the. It's also on. What's the other one? Spotify, all the places you get those, and then you can also listen to it on YouTube as well. And so that's out right now, and you can, if you check any of my social media, I have a link to it, or you can just type it in and pull it up. This is the show that I'm going to be on coming up here pretty soon. Let's see if Rock Paper Swords. So this is Steve Mackay and Matthew Harvey, and let's see here for latest. So this is their latest show. Sorry, things are kind of slow here.
We're both best-selling historical fiction authors, and together we chat about all things historical and anything that could fall under the banner of action and adventure in books, film.
Where's the opening now?
Hello, and welcome to Rock, Paper, Swords, the historical action and adventure podcast. My name is Matthew Harvey.
My name is Stephen A. Mackay.
We're both best-selling historical fiction authors, and together we chat about all things historical and anything that could fall under the banner of action and adventure in books, film, TV, and games.
And we also talk about rock music from time to time.
If you'd like to help us with that.
Okay, and then they have really a guy on
to deliver the kind of product that we know works in the market. And so I think working with AI,
that's kind of Kit Neville.
I guess that's a direct competitor.
He's a commissioning editor at Canelo, which is the publisher that Stephen is with, and he's the one who goes out and finds new talent to publish with that publisher. So I'm going to be on that show. I'm very excited about it. I will share that out when it comes out. Other than that, that's pretty much all the news I have for you. So Rampage on the River is going to be $1 starting on Thursday. It's going to be £1 the following week. And starting on Friday, you can watch me on Rock, Paper, Swords or listen to me on Rock, Paper, Swords. You can listen to me right now on Books 101. I've been on that show multiple times. I think there's an episode for every book I've ever written on that show. You can also find me on Untold Civil War. I've been on that show twice. You can look me up there. I've been on American Civil War and UK History with Darren Rawlings. I've been on his show, and I'm trying to think. I've been on the Commander's Voice. And if I'm missing one, I'm sorry, but I think that's it. I think I've been on 5 different podcast shows now. I love podcasts, so this is I kind of think of this as a podcast, but it's basically just me rambling once a week. And part of the reason why I do it, everything is marketing, is because I want to tighten up the way I speak. Like I corrected myself in the beginning of this because I started to make a point and then I didn't finish it, and I came back around because I listened to it and I listened to the things I like and I don't like in my own delivery, and because I do this weekly, it kind of builds up that muscle so that when I do get invited onto a podcast, or if I do any public speaking, because I do that too, I'm used to using my voice and I'm used to presenting and talking. So that's all part of that. So anyway, I'll let you guys go. Thank you very much for joining me. Love you guys. Remember, we get bad reviews all the time. I mean, thankfully, I get more good reviews than bad reviews. So I'm very grateful for that. But if you have an author out there that you like, make sure you support that author by giving them 5 stars everywhere you can and writing a few kind words to kind of balance it out a little bit. And also, I'm working on the French Fiasco. I'm kind of in the usually I start off like gangbusters, like the first, 7 chapters of the book wrote very easily, and now I'm writing. I just finished chapter 8, and I'm starting chapter 9, and I'm struggling. I mean, I know what I want to do. I'm having a hard time getting there. A lot of it is because I have to do a lot of research. Because remember, even the people who give me bad reviews say that I'm historically accurate and my battle scenes are good. Well, that takes a lot of work. So I have to stop a lot and go back into the research. And there's always like a certain amount of foundational knowledge I have starting a novel, but there's a lot of like you don't know something until you realize you don't know it. And so there's a lot of just-in-time learning because I don't realize I know something until I'm writing, and I'm like, oh, I need to know what that is so that I don't get a 2-star review from somebody. All right, thank you very much. I love you guys, and I will see you probably next weekend. Maybe we'll do a recap of the Rock Paper Swords interview, since that will have been out by then. And then I'm also reading Ethan Bale's Hawker and the King's Jewel. It is book 1 of a 2-book series, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I broke the 50% mark on my Kindle, so we'll probably do a review of that. After that, I'm going to read Angus Donald's 4th episode of his King Arthur series. He broke his novel up into 20,000 word episodes, so I can usually read one of those in a week, and I'll have a review on that, and then we'll see where I go next as far as reading books and reviewing them. So, love you guys. Take care, and man, it ain't so bad out there, man. Have a good time with yourself.